Prince William is reportedly formulating a plan to finally strip Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of their HRH titles.
One Conservative MP said that he is planning to bring forward legislation in an attempt to strip the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
It didn't start with a headline. It didn't start with a scandal. It started with whispers, quiet conversations behind closed doors in Westminster, the heart of British politics. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, is now at the center of a powerful movement to take away her royal title once and for all. And this time, it's not just a tabloid rumor. It's real.
Still using her HRH title despite agreeing to drop the title when the Sussexes left royal duties. How is Will planning to deal with this?
A petition has been brought forward in the House of Lords, one of the oldest and most powerful parts of the British government, demanding that Meghan be stripped of her Duchess title. Why? Because many believe she's broken the rules again and again, using her title for fame, for profit, and for public influence, even after stepping away from royal duties. The petition accuses her of using her status to promote herself, act like a working royal without permission, and embarrass the crown on a global scale. The people behind this movement aren't just angry, they believe Meghan has crossed a line that no royal should ever cross, and now they're calling for action.
Meghan Markle has been very brazen recently with the use of the HRH. Now, royal fans will know in 2020, during the negotiations for Harry and Meghan to leave royal duties, it was agreed with Queen Elizabeth that they will not use the HRH title. That is a long-standing precedent, and there's good reason for it. Basically, the HRH is only given to working royals.
What started as whispers is now turning into something much louder, a royal reckoning. And if this goes through, Meghan Markle may lose the one thing she's built her brand around, the title of Duchess of Sussex. For a long time, people in power kept their thoughts quiet, but that silence is breaking. Meghan Markle is facing real heat after being caught using her royal title in ways many think are inappropriate. Back in 2020, when Meghan and Harry stepped back from royal duties, Queen Elizabeth made it clear they would no longer use their HRH, his or her Royal Highness titles. It was part of the deal. The world accepted it, and so did they. But fast forward to today, and Meghan has been using her title again, not on official royal business, but in personal letters and gift baskets.
So the fact that she's continued to use this HRH when they've been instructed not to, I think is absolutely infuriating in Buckingham Palace. And there was a very interesting source inside close to the Prince of Wales who spoke to the Daily Beast.
One recent incident really made people angry. Meghan sent a gift to a businesswoman, and the card was signed with her HRH title. That might seem small, but to many inside Buckingham Palace and the British government, it was a big deal. It looked like Meghan was ignoring the agreement she made and using her royal title for personal branding. Now, the House of Lords has received a formal petition, and it's being taken seriously. This isn't just gossip anymore. It's about rules, power, and respect for the system. When the monarchy allows titles to be used without control, it loses its meaning. That's the fear. Meghan's casual use of her title, even when she was told not to, is being called disrespectful and damaging to the crown.
For hours since the release of Harry and Meghan's bombshell Netflix documentary, and the papers have been reacting overnight. Oh boy, have they been reacting. The pair are dominating the front pages.
People are now saying that if you want the freedom to live outside the royal system, you can't keep using the royal titles inside your new life. The House of Lords is now stepping in to do what Buckingham Palace hasn't. Draw the line. Because if titles like Duchess of Sussex become just fancy labels for Instagram bios and product endorsements, what do they even stand for anymore? For those in power, this isn't just about Meghan's personal choices. It's about saving the dignity of the royal institution before it turns into a global brand with no boundaries. Meghan's signature on that gift was more than a name. It was a spark. And now it's lighting a fire inside Parliament.
Changed my mind on things, but I didn't want them to be stripped of it, but I think I now understand they're trying to do, I think that would really be validated if they said, this institution isn't for us. We love our family, but we would like to hand these back.
It was supposed to be a simple cultural visit, but Meghan and Harry's trip to Nigeria became something much bigger and much more controversial. They called it a private tour, but everything about it looked official. From the moment they stepped off the plane, dressed in traditional outfits, smiling for the cameras, and shaking hands with top Nigerian leaders, the trip felt like a royal engagement. And that's exactly the problem. They were treated like full-time royals, even though they're not. Meghan gave speeches, attended formal events, and posed with military officials as if she still represented the crown. But according to insiders in the British government, the palace and the Foreign Office had no idea it was happening. They weren't informed or consulted.
Do you think they might be?
They could be. I mean, it really depends on the next part of the documentary and what it shows, doesn't it? You know,
because we haven't had the shock
factor yet. I feel really sad about it, to be honest. I feel sad that we've got to this point. I think they could have made a lot of differences.
In the world of international politics, that's a big problem. It made it look like the British royal family was making diplomatic moves without actually approving them. This is what many now call rogue diplomacy, when someone acts like an official representative without the proper role or permission. And for Meghan and Harry, that's exactly the kind of behavior that's triggering calls to take their titles away. The Nigeria trip was the final straw for many politicians and royal watchers. They believe Meghan is using her Duchess status to keep the image of royalty without following the rules that come with it. And the House of Lords agrees. The trip was mentioned by name in the official petition to strip her title.
They've moved to America, they've got their house, they've got their kids over there, so they're not really part of our
I don't think it's even that they don't deserve it, it's just they don't want to live it.
Yeah,
so if you don't want to live it, then what's the point?
It will make what they're saying more authentic, because I think it is authentic, but you can't say all of that and then keep those titles.
To them, this wasn't a vacation. It was a fake royal tour, complete with photo ops, press coverage, and royal fanfare. And it crossed a serious line. When you travel the world using a British title and act like a royal, but don't answer to the monarchy, it creates confusion and political risk. The Crown has always stayed neutral in foreign affairs. Meghan and Harry, critics argue, threw that rule out the window. Now, Parliament is being asked to step in before it happens again. Meghan may have called it a private visit, but in the eyes of the law, it was something very different and very dangerous for the royal brand.
Think of her as an actress. And I remember when I was in a relationship years ago, everything I did and said, whether I cried, whether I joked, this boyfriend of mine would say, well, you're an actress.
As if you were fake.
So I think as if it was fake. So I feel that she's also a bit awkward and watching everything that she's saying, so that doesn't play well to people.
It's not just politicians and royals who are upset. Regular people across the UK are fed up. A recent national poll asked Brits what they thought about Meghan keeping her Duchess title. The answer? A huge majority, 77%, said it should be taken away. That's not just a few angry voices, that's a landslide. Even during the drama after the Oprah interview, public opinion wasn't this strong. Now, people across age groups, political parties, and backgrounds agree. Meghan doesn't represent the crown, so she shouldn't carry the title. And it's not just about feelings. Many believe it's about fairness. If you walk away from the job, you should walk away from the benefits too.
3 white siblings and then 2 mixed race siblings that I got to know later in life. All I am is a country bumpkin from Kent.
Yeah.
I don't know any different, and I didn't grow up thinking about that difference.
Keeping the title while living in California, making podcasts, filming Netflix specials, and showing up at Beyoncé concerts, that's not what people think a duchess should be doing. The title isn't just for show, it's supposed to mean service, duty, and loyalty to the British people. That's why voters are angry. They see Meghan using the title as a brand, a marketing tool. They're tired of it. And the House of Lords is listening. The public outrage is one of the main reasons this petition is gaining so much traction. When the people speak this loudly, Parliament has to act. Titles like Duchess aren't supposed to be fashion statements. They're not Instagram bios. They're part of a system that goes back centuries. And if they're going to mean anything in the future, then leaders say they have to protect them now.
Okay. And when you looked at it from her point of view, she said that I got, if I wasn't Dame Kelly Holmes' double Olympic champion, based on the colour of my skin, as opposed to people understanding my cultural background. I don't know any different than being a Kent white girl.
This isn't just about Meghan anymore. It's about the future of the monarchy and whether royal titles still carry any real weight. The people have spoken. Now it's up to the House of Lords to decide if they'll listen. One of the most shocking parts of this entire situation is how quiet the royal family has been. King Charles hasn't made a statement. Prince William, though reportedly furious behind the scenes, has stayed silent in public. And Buckingham Palace has kept their usual policy of no comment. But inside royal circles, sources say the mood is tense. Prince William is said to be especially upset not just by Meghan's actions, but by the fact that nothing has been done yet. According to insiders, William has made it clear that when he becomes king, he plans to take action. That could mean removing the HRH status from both Meghan and Harry permanently. But for now, the king seems unwilling to step in. Some think it's because he wants to avoid another public feud. Others say it's because he's hoping the controversy will pass on its own. But that strategy may no longer work. With Parliament now involved, silence isn't an option anymore. The House of Lords is doing what the palace won't. and many royal watchers believe this shows a growing divide between tradition and leadership. The royal family has always relied on dignity and silence to survive scandals, but in today's fast-moving media world, that might not be enough. Meghan's continued use of her title, even while launching media deals and private business ventures, makes the monarchy look weak, critics say. It's not just about breaking protocol, it's about the message it sends, that you can walk away from royal duties and still cash in on the titles. That's why this silence is so dangerous. It gives the impression that the monarchy is either scared or unwilling to defend itself, and that, royal experts say, could do long-term damage. If the royal family wants to keep respect and relevance, they may need to speak up before Parliament makes the decision for them. Now we get into tricky territory. Taking away someone's royal title isn't as simple as it sounds. There are laws involved. One important rule is the Royal Titles Act of 1917. It says royal titles can't be used for personal business or to make money, and that's exactly what Meghan is being accused of doing. Legal experts in the UK say that if the House of Lords proves Meghan broke this rule, they have a strong case to remove her Duchess title. That's why the wording in the petition is so specific. It talks about misuse, personal gain, and violating the dignity of sovereign designations. Basically, they're saying Meghan has turned her royal title into a brand, and that goes against the law. Her deals with Spotify and Netflix are used as evidence. In both cases, Meghan and Harry were promoted using the names Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Their documentaries and podcasts often mention royal life. Critics say it's a clear example of cashing in on the crown. There's also the issue of the Nigeria trip. Since they weren't officially representing the royal family, any diplomatic action they took could be seen as unauthorized. And that makes it a legal concern, not just a royal one. This isn't just about etiquette, it's about legislation. If Parliament agrees with the petition, they can use legal powers to strip Meghan of her title. That has only happened a few times in modern history, and never to someone this high profile. But with growing public support and official complaints, the wheels are turning, and once they start, it's hard to stop them. Meghan may say she never meant harm, but under UK law, intent doesn't always matter. If she used the title for personal benefit and it caused confusion or embarrassment to the crown, Parliament has the right to act, and it looks like they might. Meghan didn't just leave the royal family, she rebranded it. From the moment she and Harry settled in California, it was clear that the Sussex name wasn't going away. In fact, it became the center of a global media empire. Archewell, their foundation, was launched under the Sussex banner. Their Netflix deal, their Spotify podcast, even children's books and documentaries all leaned heavily into their royal past. Critics say Meghan didn't separate from the monarchy, she monetized it. And that's one of the key complaints in the petition now being reviewed by the House of Lords. Titles like Duchess aren't meant to be used for business ventures, but Meghan and Harry put theirs on everything. Their docuseries literally opened with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex in royal font. That was no accident. It gave weight and attention to their story. But for many in the UK, it also crossed a line. The royal family doesn't advertise, it doesn't sell, and it definitely doesn't build brands for profit. Meghan's defenders say she's simply telling her story, but her critics see it as a calculated move, one that turns monarchy into marketing. Parliament is now asking, if titles become trademarks, what's left of the tradition they're supposed to protect? If Meghan keeps her title after everything, what does that mean for the future of the monarchy? That's the question on every politician's mind. Because if the system allows one former royal to turn their title into a brand, how long until others follow? What's stopping future ex-royals from launching businesses, running for office, or becoming influencers while still using royal titles? The Meghan Markle situation isn't just about one person, it's about setting a precedent. And for many in Parliament, this is their moment to draw the line. Once royal names start showing up in Hollywood credits and business trademarks, the entire system begins to lose its purpose. Titles are meant to be sacred, not sold. The fear is that if Meghan walks away from royal duty and still gets to use the title, others will expect the same. And before long, the monarchy will become a brand everyone wants, but no one respects. That's why this petition feels so urgent. It's not just about punishing Meghan, it's about protecting what's left of the crown's dignity. Even those who once defended her now admit something has to change. The world is watching, and whatever happens next won't just affect Meghan, it could reshape the royal family forever. Meghan Markle once stood at the center of a global fairy tale. Now, she may be standing at the edge of a constitutional disaster. What started as a quiet rumor has exploded into a real political push to remove her title. The House of Lords isn't just reacting to public opinion, they're responding to what they see as a growing threat to the meaning of royal titles. Meghan's actions, her media projects, public tours, and branding choices have crossed the line in their eyes. And now, history may be rewritten. If this petition goes through, the Duchess of Sussex title could be erased from her name forever. No more signature appearances, no more royal references, just Meghan Markle, private citizen. The monarchy has always walked a tightrope between tradition and change, but this moment might be the one that forces it to choose a side. The title of Duchess gave Meghan a platform, but did she use it or abuse it? That's the question now echoing through the halls of British power. And soon, we'll all know the answer. Drop a comment if you're ready to hear the full truth, because this royal story is far from over.